All right, everybody. Got a cool podcast tonight with the Burns Boyz, Brad and Steven. I have no idea how to tell them apart. Can you tell us how to tell you apart on the river?
So on the river, I run a red helmet and I have a black PFD and an orange dry top. I run
Okay.
red Antics, and Brad runs a Northern Lights Antics, the yellow and blue. And
Right.
he's got the full matching outfit to go with it. So
he's OCD.
yeah.
He's got the cooler boat though. The Northern Lights, I had to say. I like that one.
Well, I got that. I used to have a red one, so we used to both run the red Antics 2.0, and that really messed with a lot of people. The only way you could tell the difference was we had different color helmets.
Which one of y'all did the Cascade swim? I can't remember.
No, that was this guy.
Oh, good times, good times. We all have those. It's all good. All right, cool, guys. Well, I'm glad to have you on tonight. Appreciate you taking your time. Just so everybody knows, before this, all crazy stuff in my neighborhood. So appreciate the Burns Boyz for hanging out for about 45 minutes to deal with some neighborhood drama there. Anyway, I know first thing I just like to kind of get to know people. Tell us, where you come from, like your background, just a little bit of that kind of stuff like that.
So I'm Steven, and this is Brad, and we're both from Indiana. We live about 30 minutes north of Louisville in the flatlands and cornfields of good old southern Indiana. I'm former Marine, Brad's former Army, and we just got into boating about 2 years ago in 2021, and just fell in love with it, man.
What kind of decided what made y'all go into the Army Marines?
Well, that's kind of funny. We were both in college up in Ohio, and we kind of just got tired of it and decided we were going to go to the military and then go back to college and get it all paid for. We both, me, him, and two of our friends decided we were going to go to the Army National Guards and swear in together and just do it as a group. And we went to swear in at, they call it MEPS, down in Louisville. And I went through all the health stuff. Steven went through it all. And me and one of my other friends, we swore into the Army. Well, Steven had to get a clearance on a knee surgery he had, so he had to come back. And when he came back, he changed his mind and swore into the Marines.
Awesome.
So it's kind of like I was already sworn in, so I didn't get a chance to go with him, or I would have went Marines with him.
Do y'all have like matching Marine tattoos or military tattoos or anything? Sorry.
We do, actually.
Oh, really?
We
What
both
do you
have
have?
he has a Army sword and I have a dagger, and we both have our dog tags draped over the swords on both our right arms.
Very cool.
Have
Very
both of our names. Yeah.
Have you ever seen that old movie, Starship Troopers?
Yes.
Where they get the tattoos like death or whatever on their. I always
Yeah,
think of that.
that's a
I
good
don't know why.
movie.
I don't know why. So would y'all serve? How long did y'all serve?
I did 4 years, and I did 2 tours in Iraq.
And then I did 8 years, but I didn't do any tours.
Gotcha. Awesome. Well, thank you for your service, man. I always appreciate the military guys. My brother was in the Coast Guard, just retired not too long ago, 21 years. So I know it's not the exact same things what y'all had to go through, but, still appreciate that.
The Coast Guard's the only boot camp I would have to go back through.
Yeah. So their boot camp's kind of crazy, but, the job per se, I guess, wouldn't be quite as dangerous as what y'all have to go through, obviously. But, yeah, he used to map out, rescue plans for helicopters on the Great Lakes and stuff like that.
Oh, that'd be
pretty cool. Yeah. He had to retire those back. He's got degenerative disc disease, so his back's all messed up. But yeah, man, that's awesome. I always can appreciate some military and standing up for our country. So thank you.
Thank you.
So yeah, get back to boating. Like, what made y'all kind of get into boating? Like, what was the main push to get a boat and start going after it?
So we started out on our local rivers around here, just doing the wreck kayaking thing. We got on some flood water and got some waves and got a feel for the excitement. So we decided we were going to check out the whitewater. So we started off rafting. Brad got us together in a bunch of friends, and we went out to Colorado
and did our first whitewater experience was the Royal Gorge on the Arkansas River. And then when we got done there, that was just so amazing. That river is one of a kind. And then Brad went up to Maine. What'd you run up in Maine?
I ran the Penobscot, Class 5, 14 miles. Just kind of a whim. It's right when COVID hit, so flights were like $60 round trip to fly pretty much anywhere in the U.S. So I just took off all over the U.S.
Oh, yeah.
And I'd spend about 4 days just traveling and doing stuff like that. But back on the wreck kayaking, me and Steven and my little brother and 2 of our buddies, we would take all of our friends and show them down these like small creeks that we run. They're all class 1, class 2, whatever. But at one point in time, we had 34 wreck kayakers.
Oh, wow.
And this was before we were smart enough to know that rivers are dangerous and that helmets and life jackets are important.
Mhm.
So it was 34 of us, and we were kind of responsible to make sure none of the drunk people got hurt.
Yeah, for sure, man. No, I understand that. My local run that I just put out a video on, man. Yeah, I see people, and it's not like it's not their fault. Like you said, like you don't know unless you know. Like like they're going down a rig boat with no life jackets or no helmet. Helmet's really honestly the bigger thing at low water. I mean, yeah, most people can probably swim fine, but like even if you fall out in 2 foot of water and hit your head and no one's around, I mean, shoot, you're donezo, you know. So I guess that's the thing a lot of people don't understand with that.
Yeah. So after Brad went to Maine and ran the Penobscot, I got a chance to get over to the New River Gorge, and I ran it in a raft with Ace Adventures, I believe.
Yeah, Ace. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it was 11.5 feet.
Oh, wow. So, gosh.
Yeah, that was my second time ever in whitewater, and that just blew my mind, and I was hooked. I seen Matt Jackson. He was video boating for a company. I seen him out on the water, and just seeing him in his kayak on that big water, I was blown away. So
yeah, man, that's pretty big for the New River Gorge, dude.
It was huge. Brad's been on it in a kayak.
Did y'all run the main gorge section or just like the surprise area?
No, they were because it was so high. They put us in above Kennard.
Yeah.
But above Kennard, we ran part of the top all the way to Fayette Station.
Oh wow, yeah. So you did the whole section. Man, that's stout, dude. Cool. You got
it
to
was
see
huge.
Like Whale Hole and Greyhound at like massive levels.
Yeah, and I'd never seen anything like that ever. I mean, I'd only seen my local class 2 and 3 getting up high water, and then we seen the Royal Gorge. So getting to see that and the kayakers out there videoing, and it was just epic. And so after that, we decided we were going to start looking for gear and trying to find out how we get in this. So I went out and bought a Dagger Mamba and would take it down my local, class 2 river, no skirt, didn't know what I was doing, didn't even know how to roll. We flipped over one time and just fell out of the boat, didn't even know how to keep myself in it. But after that, we ended up we went and did the Upper Gauley in a raft, and we took a friend of our boat, and Brad borrowed it. And I
didn't borrow it. My little brother borrowed it, and I got talked into this.
Yeah. So I took my Mamba and we did the Gauley, and one of the guides was like, "You should take your kayak over to Fayette Station, and it's a great one to do laps on." And we were like, "Oh yeah, all right, so we'll do that." Well, little did we know when we got there at the time, I didn't know what CFS even meant. So it was like 4 feet. It was huge.
The Lost New was in because they were doing the work on the dam.
Oh yeah.
So Fayette Station was a giant wave train. And I talked Brad into getting the kayak out, and we get out there, take off, and I make it to the third wave train, and right before the hole on the left, and I just get slammed. Well, I didn't even know what a roll was, so I swam, and I'm swimming with my boat. Well, next thing I know, Brad catches a reactionary wave at the top and gets rolled and swims. And so we're both chasing boats down the river, and I caught my boat. Brad didn't get so lucky,
No,
and
it's still there
Went down
somewhere.
lost.
it's somewhere still there. Yep.
It's sunk
Man.
somewhere down there.
How many boats have y'all lost now? I'm just kidding.
Two.
Two.
One got destroyed on the green. Brad's Red Antics went over Gorilla.
Yeah, I saw that too. Gosh, y'all
Yeah,
have
that was fun.
unlucky stuff with that for sure. I've seen a lot of
Yeah.
tons of swims and no boats lost. So
Yeah.
I had to boat it out whenever I did that on the green. So
hey, man, that's
But
yeah, part
it
of it.
happens. Zwix is
Part
it can be friendly or it can be mean.
Well, I have
So
to
that's-
say,
that's
y'all have
kind of
like
what
an
got-
interesting start, like in like whitewater. I mean, honestly, y'all went from like nothing to pretty big, even though it was in a raft. Shoot, rafting the new at 11 is no joke. I mean, I wouldn't want to fall that at 11.
That first time we did the Upper Gully, the weekend we lost that kayak, we took our bomb on the Upper Gully with Cantrells.
Whew.
So now we do that every year.
Nice. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't raft the Upper Gully ever unless I was someone I really knew, because I just know all the rocks up there, and it's like, no way I want to be out of the water and depend on someone else to take me down. So, if y'all want to go on, I got a Slice XL. If y'all want to 4-man that or 3-man that, we can take it down one day. That'd be pretty fun.
That'd be awesome.
Actually, I enjoy like switching up and rafting occasionally. It kind of puts you on top of the waves. It's like a different experience. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, I don't like going unless I know the people that are experienced. Last thing I want to do is be out of the raft with undercuts everywhere. So
Yeah.
that's funny. Y'all got the typical Dagger Mamba beginner boat, but nah, man, when that came out, that was a super, like, the best beginner boat, I had to say, for starting kayaking. So that's awesome, man. So is there anybody like y'all kind of looked up to as you started boating, or?
So when we first got out, when we finished with the rafting and that weekend, Brad went out like the next day on the way home and ordered found another boat online. And
he sounds a lot like me. Just buy what he wants when he wants.
Yeah. So, and then that February, we decided that I was going to get on. I got online and met a kayaking club and made a post, and some people reached out to me and told me where to be. And so I showed up and met up with a lot of the local Kentucky boaters out of Lexington, and they kind of just took me under their wing. And once they kind of seen how serious I was and how quick I got the bug, I mean, from day one, I had the bug. I swam probably 12 times down the Elkhorn in Frankfort, Kentucky, my first day. And I loved every minute of it. It's freezing cold. My dry suit didn't work. The normal cheap stuff you buy used.
Yeah.
And once they seen that I really caught the bug, they introduced us to Storzy. We call him Professor. Everybody knows him as the hand paddler that wears the lacrosse helmet.
Storzy's a beast, man.
Yeah, he is. He took me down the Elkhorn to see what I could do. And when we got to the bottom, he showed me a video of Boater Beater. And he said, if this doesn't scare you away, I'll teach you everything you need to know. And I watched the video and was like, all right, let's do it. And he's kind of been our mentor. He's taught us on a progression level, on stepping up, each class and each river, and each one had a goal. Like when we finally got good enough to run Chattooga Section 4, and as long as we styled it and he didn't see any, major issues, we earned Tallulah. And it was kind of like that, get good at the Pigeon, you earn Big South Fork Gorge, stuff like that. And that was kind of how we got into it and kind of leached onto him with his crew along the way.
That's a good way to do it. I mean, I've always appreciated you guys, because I don't think anything y'all have run, I've been like, man, y'all shouldn't be on. There's a lot of people that run stuff just for like Facebook or social media. It's not the way it should be done, because you can get hurt or get somebody else hurt. So, I mean, I know y'all run stuff, and hey, you walk maybe a couple rapids, but I appreciate that, because as a boater, I have children and a wife, but hey, if I see somebody in trouble, I'm gonna go after them and try to save them. And that's just what boaters do. So but people don't think about that. Like when they run stuff they shouldn't, and then they get in trouble, and then it's like, okay, then you got somebody trying to save you, and their life's in danger. So it really kind of like there's a wave of events that can happen when you get in trouble. So kind of always have to have that in the back of your mind. But that's always a good quality to have, is how you're looking at it. Like, hey, let me do this first. Let me see how I do on that. So that's cool of you guys, man. I respect that. But yeah, what else? Like, what else has paddling done for you? Like, what? I know we're going to get into the health stuff here, and we can go ahead and start talking about that, because that's really the main topic, kind of like health. And then I want to go into Steven's training for the trials. But health-wise, what has it done for you, like physically, mentally? And I can kind of touch on my stuff too, but let me let y'all go first.
So, physically, we've always kind of been kind of athletic, never been like super really good at anything, but it was very painful at first. Using muscles never used before. Never really ever been a guy with a six pack. So
definitely
getting in the kayak.
Core,
yeah. Oh yeah, it definitely tests that core. So I spent my first 6 months in a playboat, just building my core and getting used to controlling the boat. And so physically, it's definitely helped me a lot. I feel a lot better ever since I've started kayaking. Most of all, for me, it changed me mentally. It really changed my life from day one.
And how did it do that? Like, what kind of things does it help you with? Like, so people know out there. Like, what would you say?
I'd say for us, like the main thing that it helps us with is like learning how to deal with the anxiety that life throws at you, and like finding ways to overcome fear. And for me, it was a lot of like being able to learn how to push myself and not just give up because it's hard or because I make a mistake. The fear of failing was always a big issue with us. And I think a lot of the anxiety and stuff like that was holding us back. And I feel like we both have learned how to deal with that. I mean, I don't think it's anything that you're cured from, but kayaking's the only thing that I ever found that gave me the instruments or the techniques to be able to deal with it in life.
For
sure. Me, like Brent Orton couldn't have described it better in his most recent video. The kayaking for me in the river, the camaraderie, the people, it's not something I get back home. It's not something I feel comfortable with back home. But when I go to the river, everything goes away. I'm in control. I can get on the water and just enjoy it. You got to focus on that moment. And if you're worried about everything else around you, then you'll mess up on each rapid and you won't be the kayaker you want to be.
No, absolutely good points. Yeah, I know a lot of people, kayaking has done a lot for them, mentally, physically, spiritually, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I mean, like for me, I have POTS, gastroparesis. I've talked about this before in a couple of podcasts and like a video I have. But like, I mean, I've kayaked since I was 9, so it's kind of part of my life. But like, I got real sick there, like, gosh, 3 or 4 years ago. Didn't know what it was. Had to go all the way across the country and stuff to like different medical facilities. Anyway, dude, I thought I was done for pretty much. Got down to like 122 pounds. My buddies back home that I've always kayaked with were like, "Oh, Matt, just come out, man." I was like, "Dude, I don't have the energy. Like, I'm eating like 200 calories a day and all this kind of stuff." So I got in a raft. Actually, that was the first time back like on the river in like probably 3 years. Got in a raft and I was like, "Man, dude, I miss this." Like, it just kind of like got me going again. And kind of uplifted me, and finally found a doctor that helped me. I got on some medicine. So I'm kind of on a regimen now, and I'm like back into kayak, and like mentally it's just helped me so much, and physically kind of got me back into shape and stuff like that. So I'm able to eat at least once a day, now. So like Yeah, man, kayaking's just crazy. And Jacob Martin, who's on Team Eddie Line, like he had a similar story with like, he didn't mind me saying this. He was addicted to meth and all that kind of stuff, and kayaking pretty much got him out of that. And so it's insane what kayaking's done to a lot of people. That's why I like doing these podcasts with people, just to see their stories. And didn't y'all mention some other stuff about the military and some
Yeah.
PTSD? If you don't mind talking about it, I don't want to. Yeah.
No, I don't mind talking about it. My story, I don't go in a lot of detail about it, but my struggles might help somebody else with it. There might be another veteran out there that watches my stuff and, might think that their PTSD can restrict them from getting on the water and doing stuff like this. But there's all kinds of programs out there for the veterans with PTSD and stuff for kayaking.
That Team
River Runner.
Mm-hmm.
There's multiple different states that have Team River Runners that'll take veterans out. And for me, when I got into kayaking, I found kayaking. I was in a bad place. I was having a lot of night terrors, struggling with how to control my anger. Was rejecting medicine. I'd been rejecting my meds for years. Didn't want to be on them. Didn't think I needed them. And then once I got into kayaking and started to have to deal with the fear, even on, when you're beginning, even a class 3 looks like class 5. It's all big. And for me, I realized I needed to control some of my anxiety so I could do some of the boating and be the boater I dream of being. So that's when it helped me realize I needed the help with the meds. And it's also my release. Like, that's where I can go to let all my anger out. I ain't got to worry about it hurting anybody's feelings. All I'm going to hurt's my boat and something, maybe a body part and a rock.
So, yeah, man, that's really cool. So let's talk about a little bit how to deal with the fear on the river, since we're kind of talking about fear. I know one thing, gosh, it's weird. Like, I used to be so afraid of everything. And like I said, I've been kayaking since I was 9, and I didn't really step it up like for years. I think I'm a pretty good kayaker. I'm not like a pro by any means, but I got all the fundamentals and everything. But like, dude, I mean, age 9 I took a hiatus there in college for 7 years, from like 18 years old to 25. Kind of got back into it after that, but like, still never really ran anything other than the Golly Gorge, New River Gorge, that kind of stuff. And then when I got this health diagnosis, I was kind of like, you know what, screw it. I want to fire up stuff. Like, if I might die in like 5 years, I want to like at least fire up some stuff, because I know I'm good at it. I know I'm good enough to. But like, that's kind of what got me over the hump to run that stuff. And honestly, when I did it at that time, I wasn't afraid, because it's like, what's the worst can happen? Like, I'm going to die anyway. Like, I don't know. And now I've kind of stepped back, like, because I've kind of normalized things with my health. So I'm like, yeah, I don't know about that anymore.
Might have took a few risks.
Yeah, I might have taken a few risks. I don't want to take, like, now, like, last 3 times over Gorilla, I've gone over backwards and, whatever. But yeah, so that's kind of what got me over that, like, hump of fear. But I mean, usually dealing with fear on the river, I'm kind of just like, if I'm in that mindset and I'm good to go, I go. If I'm feeling any doubt, and typically I'm kind of like one of those people who has, like, I guess, superstition. So like, say I'm up above a rapid and like even something minor goes wrong, like I make a wrong line or something, I'm like, nah, not doing that next big one. But anyway, if I'm in the zone and I feel good, I'll do the rapid. Like, kind of what's y'all's mindset or take on that kind of stuff?
So this one's kind of funny. So you know how you play Army Man as a kid, and you run around the yard and pretend you're like this amazing soldier?
Yeah.
I kind of do that at the top of the big rapids. I pretend I'm Dane Jackson at the top of each rapid. And, I just picture myself and like the moves he does. And so when I'm going through it gets me in the mindset to boat aggressively.
Yeah.
Instead of being scared and timid, when you pretend you're an Army man, you're not, you're pretending you're not scared of anything. So I kind of incorporated that into what I when I get really scared and my face goes white and I start sweating at the top of a rapid, that's what I kind of picture.
I'd say for me, I'm a lot like you as a boater. If something happens right above the big rapid, I'll typically walk it. Like I was in Ecuador and we had this jumbly rapid coming up, and it was one of the bigger ones that we were going to scout. And there was a pour over, like a 6-foot pour over right before it, and I boofed off of it, caught the edge of the rock, and flipped in the air and landed in the pour over, and ended up getting the crap beat out of me. And then Floyd Miracle boofed on top of me and knocked me out, and then I rolled up. Well, then at that point, we had another 100 yards, and then we got out to scout. And as soon as I got up there, I was like, I'm not going to even run this. I just got the crap beat out of me. I'm not going to do it again. Like, so I just walked it. So I'm pretty much the same way. Like, if something happens in the small rapid right above a big one, I'll typically like either take the safer line, or if it's an easy portage, then I'll do that. But
yeah, man, when we did that pigeon video with me and Wade and Chris, I got like pinned in right above nowhere to land, like it wasn't even anything really, and I was like, nah, not running nowhere to land. I'm good. Like, I don't know. When you film too, like if you ever start doing like real filming, like it's kind of like you can't get your groove because you have to get in and out of the boat so much. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain, but like you can never really get in a good like paddling motion and stuff. So it really does put you in kind of a different mood when you're paddling, at least bigger stuff. Plus you got camera stuff between your legs and all that stuff. Like even on the Russell Fork video, when I got trashed in triple drop, dude, I had that camera in between my legs. And I was like, I can't get out of my boat. Like that's what was going through my mind when I was getting destroyed in that hole. I was like, I can't even swim if I wanted to. So filming in general just has a different approach to the river. But yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Yeah, it's a tough one to overcome mental stuff when you're running a rapid. I'm kind of like, I will say I kind of get in that aggressive mode too. Like I'm just going to fire it up and kind of try to like put blinders on and just go for it kind of thing. And then I also kind of think of like plan B and C, because when you run class 5, it doesn't matter how many times you run it. Doesn't matter how good you are. It's going to happen. Like, doesn't matter how many times you run gorilla. Guess what? One time when you run it, you're going over backwards. You're going over upside down. Just the nature of the beast. So like, I always kind of have like B and C in my mind. Like, what am I going to do if something goes wrong? I think that kind of helped you too, like planning that stuff out in your head and kind of going through the motions. Like, you know, I've never really freaked out. Even this year, I'd say this is my worst year technically wise. Just I don't know why, but yeah, like going over grill upside down. You know, I just tucked. I mean, no big deal. But yeah, you got to have that like plan B, C, D, even on that hard class 5, 6, whatever you're running. So yeah, it's something to talk about. Good topic, man. Good topic, guys. So Steven, let's get into the trials, man. Like, I'm pretty impressed that you're training for that. I know a lot of people are out there, and even myself at first, I gotta be honest, I was like, no way, dude. Like, I've been playboating for 20 years, and I wouldn't even attempt that. But hey, more power to you, man. And I have to say, I've been watching your videos, and you're progressing. I think you did the right way in like getting physically fit first, because a lot of people don't realize, like, dude, playboating and you're doing like a 1.5-minute session out there in a hole, at least you want to. Like, you gotta be pretty physically fit. Cardio, muscle, like endurance. Like, you can't go throw down like 6 cartwheel ends, a loop, and then a tricky woo or a back loop, and expect to like do that without some physical training and cardio training as well. So take us through that. Like, what made you decide to do that, and like what are you doing? What'd you do to prepare? Like, what are you doing now to prepare? Like, tell us all about that.
All right. So when I first made that goal, I put it out on the internet just because, for my friends, kind of just to push myself. I've always wanted to step up into freestyle. I do a lot of downriver play. I mean, I literally can't stop myself. It can be freezing cold, and I'm going to be, doing whatever I can on the river, whatever trick. And so when I made the goal, it wasn't to make the team, because I know that's absolutely a crazy thing to say. I've only been boating for 2 years. I'm just now starting, to work on freestyle. And my main goal with it is I want to just get to the level where I can compete good enough to be there at the competition, and try out for a team with some of the best in the world. Most of these guys are my idols in the kayaking world, and just to be there at that competition, to set in on the wave, whether I land 2 tricks or if I don't even land a trick, but if I can build up the confidence and to not embarrass myself completely, then I will have achieved my dream. And it's also at the same time pushing myself to become a better boater. I've been pushed all last year. I worked really, really hard on a double pump into a bow stall, and I just couldn't get it. I hit a wall with my playboating, so I kind of got timid towards it and went back to favoring my antics and started running some more, getting into creeking and stuff. And I found that's just not where my heart is. So I decided I was going to push myself, and what better way, set a real high goal and just go for it. So I started out with, cutting out some carbs, eating a little better, higher protein diet, a little bit more healthy, and to lose some of the weight, because I'm 225, and that's on the high end of my play boat. It's really hard for us big guys to throw ourselves up in the air and all the way around. So I started in the gym. I knew I needed a core. I need a strong core, and my back wasn't as strong as I wanted it to be. So I mainly focused on my back, my core, and my shoulders, and then my chest will follow with those workouts. And I really focus on my shoulders a lot because I have a weak right shoulder and it likes to pop out. So when I get out on a far brace when I mess up a trick or something, I've had it dislocate in the wave. Yeah. It's something I did in the military, and it could just normally go right back in. It's a little painful and sore afterwards, but it doesn't stop me from continuing on the river. But for me, it's been a fun ride so far. It's been painful. It's got its highs, its lows. Definitely paddled around a rock and probably cried a few times in an eddy.
Hey man, I get it. Like fresh playboating, like it is hard to break through like that wall of tricks. Hey, I can do some advanced moves. Like I can do like a McNasty and stuff. I can do cartwheels, front loops and stuff. But dude, I still can't do a bow stall. So I've tried my entire life. I've gone out on lakes for hours. I cannot get a bow stall. Don't know what it is. I'm frustrated. I kind of just gave up with it. And I'm old now, so I said screw it. I'm never like competing in playboating. But yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, and I'm even worse on a wave. Like, we have no waves where I'm from. So like my home river balcony, like there's nothing unless it's like 10 foot. So I'm pretty decent at a hole, but like waves, terrible. So hey man, I've been watching. I'm proud of your progress, dude. Like even from day one out there in Columbus, like you've seemed like you've done well. So good for you.
Day one was rough. That was probably the roughest day.
But you have to remember, man, Dane and all them, they are paddling 365 multiple times a day. So you can't be hard on yourself. Like, man, we got jobs. We're weekend warriors, buddy. Like, you can only do what you can do. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like anything else. Sure, if we went 365, I'm sure we could maybe not be Dane, but we could be better than we are now. So, it is what it is. But I mean, I appreciate kind of what your goal is. That's awesome, man. Like, have a goal, try to do it, because guess what? We only get one life, and do what you want to do. Try what you want to try. So that's cool.
Man, I'm not getting any younger.
Yeah, for sure. Any other like barriers you run into like while training, or any like body out there like hating on you while you're training or anything like that?
No, not really any haters. I've got a lot of support while I was down there in Columbus. Met a lot of really cool people and got to watch some awesome, even like there were some amazing teenagers, the Eden boys, another set of twins.
It doesn't make you sick, all them young kids.
Yeah, it's insane how good they are.
Shane Simino, I'm like, dude, I hate you. What? Like just
He's out there crushing it.
Just natural fetus born like kayaker, Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, man. We're all meant to do something, but
yeah,
no, that's cool, dude. Yeah, I need to get down there though, man. I need to get down there. Just to let y'all know, I'm planning on doing some co-op filming with the Burns Boyz soon. And I'm gonna go down there and get some training videos of you, and we'll do another video on the river too. I want to do kind of a full co-op with y'all. That'd be cool. Get some
awesome
high quality footage. So here to come. Don't know when it's gonna happen, but it's gonna happen. Just let y'all know who's listening. All right, so this is for both y'all. Like, what do y'all have your sights on that you really want to run next year for a river? Like, what's your kind of big river up there next year that you want to try to get on?
So I sent out into my group about 2 weeks ago my goal for 2023, and that's to get on the Thompson or the Overflow.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of like my end game for 2023. Feel like I'm getting close to Thompson. Man, that's one I need to really have my mental game there for. Overflow as well. I mean, those aren't really ones that I feel like my skill level's getting there, but my mental game still has some work.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen you pretty decent as a kayaker. Decent amount. I mean, not a decent kayaker, but like, I think I would say you'd be ready for those if you're mentally prepared. They're not like extremely difficult, but yeah, there's places where you can get in trouble. So definitely want to be on your mental game, A game. Have a plan B in mind for those. But yeah, what about you, man?
I'd like to open up some of the creeks and rivers in the Plateau or the Smokies. Tremont, haven't been on it. Big Creek, Upper Big Creek, I'd like to get on those.
Dude, I'm dying to get on Big Creek. Gosh, I'm dying. To get on Big Creek.
If you're heading there, let me know because I'm down.
It's so tough being in Lynchburg because any of that stuff is like 5-6 hours. So like, and it usually doesn't run unless you get like a 5-hour notice. It's like, I'm sick. Okay.
Yeah. Can't go to work.
Can't go to work.
Our minimum drive is 4.5 hours to anything class 4 and up.
Gosh, that's so great. Like, I mean, I got the new river in Golly, but like, and some stuff around here like the tie and stuff. That'd be great for y'all to run if it's in the John.
Yeah.
But it's like all flash. Like I'd have to call y'all, like be like, drive now. Like, and it's like
you might 6 hours, man.
Yeah, you might catch it. You might catch it. No, that's cool. Yeah. Those are all good, man. Big.
The main one I've been really dreaming of. Probably horse pasture.
Oh, dude, you can hit the horse pasture. Horse
pasture.
That's
a beautiful creek.
I would say it's not as tough as it seems, especially if it's at like a decent lower level. The hike is brutal. Back up though. One of the worst hikes I've ever done. I know Dane and all them would run up it and sprint up it and stuff, but like, dude, like I'm not kidding you. I'm pretty physically fit and I wrestle and stuff and all that. And dude, I had to stop 32 times, like probably more than that.
God. I'd cry. I'm the bougie boater that hates hiking his boat in.
I said, if there's somebody that wants to carry my boat, I'll give them $100 next time I do the horse pasture. $100.
Hey, in Ecuador, we paid $6 for porters.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
It was the best thing ever.
The horse pasture is absolutely beautiful run, dude. Yeah. I would suggest getting on it. If you got one in with a good crew, it's not horrible. There's some spots, but honestly, if you ran the full green, I'd say it's more dangerous than the horse pasture, in my opinion. Not to say to go fire it up right now, but just kind of in your mind that's what it's kind of like. It's some big drops and stuff. It's just beautiful in there. Beautiful, cool drop.
Yeah, it looks gorgeous.
Cool run. That's one we could hook up with for sure. Yeah, cool, man. That's awesome. I'd say mine. Gosh, I don't know what Big Creek's on the list, but like I guess my pinnacle for this next year, I would say Blackwater. Blackwater, Mans Creek, and Linville, probably my three.
Oh.
Mans Creek being the one I really want to get for some reason. I don't know why.
I've seen that one. I've been over there
So
and
two
seen the
West
waterfalls you
Virginias,
ran.
2 West Virginias, and the Linville. Linville's super dangerous, so that's one I always got in the back of my mind when you have children and stuff. It's like,
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
How bad is Raven Fork? You know, I hear a lot of people's like Raven Fork's so awful.
I haven't seen it in person. Just evaluating it by looking at it on YouTube and kind of what I know and talking to people. It's no joke. I don't think there's a lot of like necessarily like undercuts per se, kind of like Linville. But it's still remote. I think there'd be more like pinning potential and like breaking back limb potential in Raven Fork. It's a lot more rocky and a lot of kind of like transitional like boosts and stuff. If you look at the videos, it's like Mortal Kombat stuff. I mean, there's a lot of like moves you got to make like side to side with a lot of rocks. From what this again evaluating from a video here standpoint. So, personally, I think I would run the Raven Fork before Linville, in my personal opinion, just because I think the death factor is not as bad as Linville. Hurt factor probably just as high or higher, but I don't know. Like, and you can walk pretty much whatever on Raven Fork. Where Linville, I'm pretty sure it's like you're committed, and it's like 18 miles of Class 5 plus like undercuts. So, something to consider.
I don't know if Linville's ever going to be on my list.
Yeah.
Raven Fork's definitely one I'd dream of.
Raven Fork is like beautiful. Like, I know Linville is a gorge, it's beautiful too, but Raven Fork just has that, like, if you watch the videos, the water looks so crisp, and like, I just want to get in there and do some filming too. Like, it looks awesome. That's another one I'll have to catch when I'm like in the middle of a work day. Like, oh, come on down, Raven Fork's running. And you gotta have 4-wheel drive. You got to have a 4-wheel drive truck to get down in there. I do know that, and probably a crew that will trust you. So a lot of these rivers that we're naming off, some of those, you got to like know people and kind of get the respect of the community to be able to run. So
Raven Fork's way off for me.
Building up that resume and stuff. But for me, it's not all about sending either. And I don't think it's about that for you. Like, to me, like, I enjoy the beauty of the rivers, and kind of where my channel is going, is like, portraying like nature and how cool just nature and the rivers are. Like, they're so powerful and just majestical and beautiful at the same time. Like, the lay person, they don't understand. Like, I don't know, they don't understand. That's all I can say.
Yep. That's why I can't make a short video on my YouTube channel, because there's so much to show on these rivers that a lot of people don't show, because they just show the big holes and the big boosts. But in between those, man, there's so much good river. And
me and Wade were actually laughing. We're gonna do like the green unforeseen. I think that's where we're gonna label it. And we're gonna go in the green and literally film every rapid that's not usually filmed. Like, like Colonel Dix, like Colonel Dix, like all the rapids in between. I mean, even Buford Consequences, I don't feel like people film a whole lot, which is a super cool rapid. Whale Tail, all the like the note, quote, note, unknown name ones. We're gonna go in there and film all those third person. Anyway, something we have on our
that'd
mind.
be great.
Yeah, green unforeseen. So what we got next here? So what's been the scariest moment kayaking, man? I'm gonna have to say one of it's got to be the Cascades run for you.
Yep, that one was definitely scary. I didn't throw a boost stroke. I thought I was far enough river right and to miss the whole. Terrible idea. People,
I'm not saying you did, but people underestimate that hole. I've seen so many people get their butt whooped in there. Hey, Johnny Ortiz, my buddy, he got worked in there one day by himself, and he got scared too. I'm like, it's no joke if you actually get caught in there. It's a sticky, sticky hole.
Yeah,
it was shaded.
I learned don't run on gaff weekend. You never know what level you're going to get. It was pretty juicy that morning.
It's weird, man. The releases in the Cascades have been higher than what they say. I know, dude. That one day we were out there and y'all were watching us, and we were all getting our butt whooped. Like, there was a lot of good kayakers out there that day. It was running like 450, which is
that was the same day.
That was the same day.
Yeah, man. Like, I mean, dude, I I flipped over a few times at Kahuna and stuff. Like, I mean, everybody was. It wasn't just, it
Yeah,
was.
I think when I came down and seen you on the rock, you and Wade were standing there at Big Kahuna, and next I said, "What's up?" And then next thing you know, there was 5 people swimming at the bottom of Big Kahuna. Right
Yeah,
at
like,
the
dude, it was a wild
junkyard.
day, man. Like, I've run the Cascades a lot, and that was a wild day. There was a lot of people getting messed up swimming. Junkyard was weird. Power slide, I feel like power slide was different than normal. Like, it was chewing people. I don't know, man. Anyway,
Yeah.
that was a
It
wild
was
day in the
rowdy.
Cascades. Yeah, for sure. Dude, in the Cascades is one I still get nervous on. Like, you could run that a million times and you could catch one of those holes wrong on the Big Kahuna and like go over upside down backwards. Yeah,
I
that
walked away
always makes
from
me
it
nervous.
4 times. And that time I just couldn't do it. It's 5th time, and I didn't want to walk away from it again. I probably should
Yeah,
have.
I mean, I understand it. Cascades are no joke. People think that's easy and it looks easy on
No.
YouTube. The Cascades, honestly, I put that above a lot of stuff. It's rowdy, it's quick. Like, there's no room for error, and
I made
a lot
one
of people don't
mistake
get
and
that.
paid
Yeah,
for
I
it.
mean, if you flip over on Big Kahuna's no joke. I know Chris Hipgrave got a bad injury there, and he's an all-star paddler. Just like with anything, man, everything goes on Class 5 until it doesn't. So take that for what it's worth. But that's my good saying from Wade Harrison. Everything goes until it doesn't. All right,
Brad
cool.
had a pretty scary
Oh yeah,
moment this past weekend.
what's your
Well, mine happened this past weekend down in Columbus. It warmed up. It was about between 60 and 70. Got me a nice new dry suit or dry top for Christmas. So I was just itching to get that on. And I'm not big into the dry suit. I just am not comfortable in my boat in it, especially in a small boat. I ended up getting on Good Wave. It was 2 units, just below 3 units. So it was a high 2 units. And at that level, it's kind of diagonal, and it takes you into this pocket, which is surfer's left, river right, and it's called Big Nasty, and it's very
It's where you go to
mean.
loop and antics.
Yeah, you can loop in antics in there and everything. Well, every time I got in my antics, I went into that hole, and I went into it 4 times, and I swam out of it 3 times.
oh wow.
The second swim, I got out, but my boat was still circulating, and the eddy lines there are pretty tough. And I was on a rock just in the middle of it was just under the water, so my body was out of the water, so I was fine. But I stepped back down to try and grab my boat, and I fell back in the water, and then I was stuck in the eddy to where I wasn't moving downstream, but I couldn't swim back to the rock. I just kept getting sucked straight back. And by this point, I had water coming up from the bottom of my dry top. And that water was way colder than I expected. So by the time Cody Gentry got to me, he had chased my paddle down, then paddled across to me. And there was about 30 people in boats on the shore surfing the wave and everything. And I yelled help. And then that was the last word I could get out. After that, I couldn't really make words, couldn't get a deep breath. And by the time Cody got to me, I kind of just mumbled something to him, and he realized how serious it was. And he paddled with everything he had, and he just could not get me to that rock. And it was just kind of the first moment that I was like, I'm literally not in this like gnarly river, and I'm probably not going to get off this river.
Oh wow.
It was probably one of the scariest moments I've had in it, but it didn't, from the shore, it probably didn't look like it was anything. But for me, and I know Cody, he was pretty worried for us, and it was serious. Like,
No, yeah.
I just couldn't control my body anymore. And I talked to a few in the medical, and they said that that's kind of like a sign of you're getting ready to go into like hypothermic shock. And that I got kind of emotional after, like, of course, my adrenaline's up, everybody's there. I warm back up, and I go do it again, so and get my redemption or whatever. But then on the way home, like, all that calms down, and I really realized how close I really got and how serious it was, and that just because it's warm outside, don't make that stupid mistake again. It's wintertime, be in a dry suit.
No, yeah,
So
absolutely, man. Another underestimation of not you per se, but just in general. If people aren't familiar with kayaking in cold water, or even just in cold water in general, like you fall in the water, it's probably 38 degrees right now, give or
yeah,
take. Where depending where you are, I mean that shocks your body basically. Probably zaps almost half your energy right away, and you're in fast moving current water. Like if you're not wearing a life jacket or something, you're donezo. I mean, there's a guy
yeah,
here recently on the James River, went camping. I don't know what happened. They still haven't found his body. It was on that section I did the video on. He's been gone like a month. I don't know. His wife said he went camping and fishing or something. Never came home. I mean, he could have fell in the water. Again, it's probably 38 degrees, no life jacket, no helmet. Probably just froze to death or whatever.
Yeah,
Drowned.
that's minutes.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'd say
It's definitely an eye opener.
my scariest moment, although it wasn't really danger, was definitely the triple drop thrashing I had. I wasn't really necessarily scared, but I was like, I might swim here for the first time in a while.
But isn't that the bottom of triple drop on the right? Isn't there a sieve right there?
There is, but I got caught in that veil. Like when it turned me around, like I could not like maneuver my boat at all, and I was in the machete, and like water was like pouring over my bow on the veil, and like I was trying to like maneuver it to like ender up and like try to get out of the hole, but I just could not get the boat out. And yeah, I mean, I ran out of breath for sure. I was probably on like my last roll. I could tell you I was about to pull a skirt, but I had that box in my way, and I was like, I don't know if I can get out, honestly. There is a sieve on that right, but I don't think it's like necessarily that horrible. I think it's kind of one of those ones that's like cut out, like, but you can go down river on, that kind of deal.
Gotcha.
I mean, honestly, yeah, my scariest situation I ever witnessed though was my buddy on the top yacht. He got pinned in what's that one? Shoot, can't remember the name of it right now, but he got pinned over there and almost went in the sieve over there. It was scary to look at from my point of view. I was on the other side of the river and I couldn't get to him. Everybody else could, and like I'm just like watching, basically. Like if he swims, he's dead. I mean, it's kind of scary, man, when like you witness that kind of stuff.
yeah.
It definitely
It's definitely
like
humbling.
kind of set him back years paddling. I'd have to say, and I don't blame him. Like you're like looking at a death sieve like right in the face. But he did well keeping his calm. We got him out. But yeah, scary things on the river, man. So what's each y'all's favorite boats right now? What would you have
Antics.
to say? Hey, both
Favorite
y'all
boat?
antics.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Nah, man, I can't give up on my playboat. That Rockstar 5 is just so good.
I gotta get y'all out of this.
all
Jack.
around boat. No, never. See that?
Gotta get y'all.
See that?
Gotta get y'all.
See
out of
that,
Jackson
Jackson?
training.
I'm Jackson at heart. Sponsor me.
Now they make.
I actually sold all my other boats because I can't run anything ratchet. For some reason, with the ratchets, I've been having a real bad problem of breaking them. But I've had problems with Jackson too. I've broken a couple of the back bands, but that's more of the stitchings they were using.
Yeah.
They found another stitching. I'm using one right now, and it seems to be a lot stronger than what they've been using.
No, they have great outfitting. Can't complain about that. They're both.
I love it.
They're a little too soft for me. Like I like a way more aggressive boat. Now the Rockstar is great, but like as far as like downriver boats and stuff, I just like a ton of edge, and I just grew up on that. So just preferences as a paddler. Always paddle.
We both use our Antics as our creek boats.
Yeah, Antics.
Yeah, we're
great.
not creek boat guys.
I cannot.
Creek boat. Hey man, you don't need. I keep telling people this. Like you really don't need a true creek boat unless you're paddling like strong class 5. Like. And to me, I would rather have the stern to be able to maneuver, pivot, turn, that kind of stuff, and load. You can load your stern to boot, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
I mean, unless you're going, I would say like Pigeon Drives, high water, you want a creek boat because that stuff gets pretty gnarly in there with holes. Like some tight micro creek stuff like that, you might want a creek boat. But like otherwise, 95% of what most of us are running, you really don't need a creek boat.
Yeah.
Just my personal opinion. So there you go.
Yeah. Last time I was in a creek boat, I ran Wade over on Tallulah. He was surfing. And I was in my Walker OG, and I was
He deserves to
out
be
of
hit.
Control through the top gauntlet.
He tried to push me over. Y'all saw that on the Kelly on hell. Nah, he was actually trying to pick me up.
Yeah, I was trying to give you the hand of God.
We were like trying to double surf the hole when I ran into him, but it's kind of funny how that picture turned out like he ran into me. Yeah.
No, that was great.
So as just kind of like normal guys boating, what would be your best advice for people getting into kayaking? Like, what would you recommend for people to get into kayaking? Like boats, what would you recommend? Like, just in general.
I'd say we always give people advice when they ask us about like kayaking, how can we get out there and stuff. Wherever you live, I mean, most people can get access to on Facebook and get to a kayaking club. The best thing to do is find your local kayaking club and link up with them. And then you can branch out of there and find your group. I mean, everybody has their own group that they run with on pretty much everything and teach each other stuff. I would highly, highly suggest for your first boat to go used. Don't buy brand new. We did that, and we put a hurting on our boats right off the bat.
Yeah.
No, that's good advice, man.
Yeah, for me, like I liked buying. I bought the Mamba, and then I went into for mid. I bought a Burn. The Mamba was a little too squirrely for me. Being a bigger guy, I was way overweight for it, and so when I got in the Burn, that helped out. But once you start out and you get comfortable and you get the basics down, I highly recommend moving into a half slice and then working your way into a play boat. Even if you never get past class 2 or 3, it'll make you a better boater.
I 150% agree with that.
Absolutely.
I disagree with people. So these are two different thoughts here, but like if you're a older individual, say you're like, I'm not planning on progressing. Like I just want to get on the river. All right, yeah, get you a big Zen 3 or something. But if you're like younger or whatever, or even older, and you want to start hitting the shit, like I agree with you 100%. Get you a half slice. Like that is probably the best boat to start with because you got so much potential to go up, but it also has that same potential to like keep you stable for the most part. But you can learn so much from it, and like you can play boat from it, all that kind of stuff. And for me, play boating is the essential tool to get better. Like you can get in a boat and go down river, no problem, avoid holes, that kind of stuff. But until you get caught in a hole and learn how to get out of it and that kind of stuff and not swim, that kind of translates to better boaters. So anyway, my 2 cents there. But y'all have
my first questions we ask people is when they were like, "Hey, I want to get out on some rivers," and they're like, "I kayak and stuff," and I'm like, "Well, what all have you run?" And then, do you play boat? And if that kind of gives me a range of what they're capable of, what they could run, and what I feel comfortable taking them down.
No, for sure. I coach wrestling too. I kind of have the same philosophy. Like I put a beginner against the most advanced kid in the room, and it's like you're either gonna quit or get really good. So like same thing with kayaking. Put them in a play boat, throw them in like a huge class 4 hole, and
you're either
like,
gonna fall in love or hate it.
You're like screw this or yeah, give me more. That kind of thing.
We have a guy in our group that that's how he liked to teach us. He always tried to get us in the biggest hole and just get worked. He's like, that's how you learn.
No, for real. Yeah, go in there without a paddle. Go in there without a paddle, man. It's I always say, and that's why I like paddling like different boats and like harder boats. Like people are like, why you paddle Chili? Like that sucks. But like the Chili is so hard to paddle. Like it definitely refines me and makes me a better boater, even though I've been boating so long. So I try to pick boats like that kind of go outside my comfort zone and that kind of thing. But yeah, man, I don't know. It's a cool sport, so to speak.
I think another thing for like the newer boaters is to like once you get all your stuff and stuff like that, a big thing is one, get out and do some flat water and like build your skills to where you trust them. That'll help you mentally, but also do a progression list. That's what we did, and I highly suggest it. I mean, don't just like know where you're going and have somebody that'll help you and tell you when you're ready for it and when you're not. Brian Storzy was that guy for us. I mean, he literally, if he said we were good, ready to go for it, we were ready. And he never let us on anything that we weren't. There was many times he had to rein this one in and tell me he wasn't ready for the green yet.
I like to get ahead of myself. I dream big.
But
Hey.
a progression list is a big deal when you're first starting out.
Yeah, I agree totally. And having that mentor, like Wade was definitely my mentor, even though, like I said, I've been paddling 20 years. Like, I trust him to be like, hey, do you think I can run this? I mean, he knows me enough now where be like, yeah or no. There's some things I didn't really want to run where he's like, you're good. And I ran. I'm like, nah, I'm glad I ran it. So
I've done
yeah,
that.
you kind of have that person. You need that person that kind of tells you that, like, man, you're good. You'll be all right. You'll be all right. Unless
That's
you're
the
not.
difference between me and Steven as a boater is Storzy has to build me up and get me on the river because I'm scared or nervous or something, and he has to bring him down so he doesn't like go nuts on the river. So
That's
he's
a good,
up, I'm
that's a
down.
good, like combo y'all have though. It's like good cop, bad cop going on there.
We're mirror
go.
twins. I'm right-handed.
That's
He's
Hey,
left-handed.
speaking of big guys, since y'all big guys, hey, you know why I started my YouTube channel, right? Not enough smaller boaters. So y'all got something there. You need to start doing large boat reviews. It's a need in the community. Even if you don't get a ton of views, and I didn't care really about views. I got tired of like typing in YouTube, small whatever, small scorch, small blah blah blah. Nothing. Zero. It's like a medium boat is totally different than a small boat.
A large boat, yeah.
A large is definitely
Typically, if y'all don't know, companies make the boat usually around the medium. So
Yeah.
like the medium is the best boat you're gonna get. Like, and then the upsize or downsize depending on the company. But like the small is not the same as the medium. Large is not the same. Especially if I'd say the most drastic change is the Axiom 8.0. If you ever seen a large, holy crap, the stern is like the stern is enormous. Like it would take a 400-pound person to get that stern down. Like, but that's how it goes. But I mean, seriously, that's a good niche y'all could fill. I mean, especially with two of y'all. You don't have to know a lot about boats. Just people want to know opinions and how it performs for y'all as taller people or heavier people, whatever you want to say. But yeah, that's why I started my channel. Seriously, I was like, there's nothing out there. And that kind of transitioned to all this cinematic stuff. But
That's
yeah.
cool.
Anything else y'all want to say to people? I mean, we're going on an hour here, so.
I'd just like to tell the difference between like me and him as boaters. I think a lot of it's already been like figured out, but like in Columbus, a guy told us he could just tell by us out on the wave which boater was a specific type. And Steven's more of a play boater, and then I'm more of a creeker. So I kind of want to. Steven's like training for his freestyle and everything. I'm more training for learning more rivers and more detailed rivers. I have several that I can show people down on right now, but I want to be more like Brian Storzy. He showed us down 24 rivers our first year, and I want to be able to be. My main goal in kayaking is to be that kind of guy that takes new people out, shows them down rivers, helps them out. I'm never going to be this crazy expedition boater. I'm going to enjoy those little things when I can do them, but at the same time, my main thing is just to help give back to the sport. And anytime there's a river that somebody needs somebody to line lead down, and if I feel I can safely get you down and be able to provide the safety when needed, then I'll be more than welcome to show somebody down.
Yeah, man, that's what it's all about, giving back. And I try to do the same thing if somebody reaches out to me and wants like a PFD down at Chio or whatever. You know what? I reached out to Wade, and he did that for me. So if somebody reaches out to me, I try to do the same thing. Because guess what? I never would have went on this progression that I went on if someone wasn't taking a chance on me. So I'm kind of the same way. So yeah, everyone should be that way in the sport, or it will never get bigger. And if somebody wants to go down the Nantahala one day, shoot, let's go for it. It's a good time. Still, you can practice all sorts of skills. So
Hey, I just showed my mom down the Nantahala.
yeah. You can learn a ton from the Nantahala, man. There's eddies everywhere. You can catch 20 eddies at Nantahala Falls if you're good enough. I mean, yeah, there's nothing bad in it about class 1 or class 2 or whatever, class 5. It doesn't matter. Getting out there, enjoying nature, having fun with your boys or your family or whatever.
Absolutely.
That's what it's all about. Yeah, anything else? How about y'all just write B and S on your forehead? BS, the BS boys.
Yeah, the
BS
BS boys.
I still can't tell you apart, honestly.
Yeah, it takes time.
It makes it harder when I take my hat off.
I have no idea. If y'all if y'all did a switcheroo right now, I'd be like, I don't know. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, we're used to it. If you call me Brad, I'm used to it.
This calls Burns.
Johnny Ortiz called me Whalen for the longest time, Matt Whalen. I'm like, I just let it go. I let it go for like a year and a half, seriously. And I was like, Johnny, you know my last name's Wallen, right? He's like, what? I'm like, yeah, Wallen. Two sight words. The Green Races call me Whalen twice already. And my brother gets so mad. He's like, it's 2 sight words, Wall and. Just an aside.
Great.
And it got called in my wedding wrong too. We told him before.
Nice.
It's Wallen. They said Matthew Harris Whalen. My middle name is Harrison, by the way. It's like you got both of them wrong. Like we shouldn't even paid you. Anyway, funny stories, man. We can go all day about those things. Yeah. Well, I gotta have y'all on here again and talk about some other stuff. But good luck to y'all this year, and thanks for coming on the show. And Steven, good luck in the trials, man. Like I said, I want to get down there and do some filming of you prepping for the trials, training and stuff.
I plan on getting back down there the beginning of February to do some training, take some actual classes with some of the maybe Stephen Wright and stuff. So
yeah, maybe I can get out there and embarrass myself. Like I said, I'm terrible on a wave, so
come on.
Hey, I'll come embarrass myself with you.
Yeah.
Gosh,
Carnage makes the best
terrible
videos.
Wave holes are way harder than normal holes. Let me just tell you that. So yeah,
they're easier to get out of.
They are, but it's so hard to do tricks on, man. It's like finite like line of connecting a trick and not where a hole you kind of have some leeway one way or the other.
Yeah,
for sure.
I had to kind of slow down with that because of that. Like I was trying all kinds of different tricks and then started focusing on just trying to land a blunt or a back blunt and that really helped a lot.
No, I get it, man. It's tough, but the more you're out there, you'll get it. Just takes practice and repetition, man. But yeah, shoot. Awesome time talking to y'all tonight. Glad to get to know you a little better, and hopefully we'll see you on the river some more. We'll have to do some co-ops this year, the Burns Boyz and the Eddie Line, and get on some rivers together. I know let's see what I got coming up. I got wrestling with my daughter until like mid-March, so I'm kind of like, I don't know, I'm kind of like sold with that for a while. But yeah, after mid-March, I'll be heading out more and hitting the usual stuff, Chioa, Tallulah, that kind of stuff.
As soon as Chioa comes, I'm ready.
Yeah, man. We do it like an annual like wife-husband trip there, and we stay at the lodge, which is super nice. If y'all ever want to take a date to Tapaco Lodge, I don't know if you ever stayed. Have y'all ever stayed there?
No,
dude.
We stay off Yellow Creek.
Take a date there. It's pricey, but man, those cabins, they got like hot tubs and stuff. Which I'm a OCD nasty freak. Like I don't like dirty. I don't like germs, but like those hot tubs are sparkling clean. I actually get in them. And like, so you can hang your gear up, man. This cabin's 2 rooms. It's awesome. They got fire pits everywhere.
Sweet.
You can drink right on the river if you want. It's excellent. I suggest a weekend there stay if you want to take a date down there one time or whatever. But anyway, besides the point, Tapaco Lodge, yeah, it's awesome. Chioa, one of my favorite rivers. Spread my mom's ashes there and everything. So But yeah, check out the Burns Boyz YouTube channel. They got a YouTube channel going on. They kind of share their adventures and everything. I'm subscribed to y'all. I enjoy your adventures. Think y'all are cool dudes, nice guys, genuine guys, which I appreciate. And also from the military. So again, thank you for your service. And I appreciate your time tonight on the podcast and dealing with all my crazy neighbors stuff going on. But yeah, well, we'll get together soon. Anything y'all last words for the people out there?
I just want to say thank you, Matt, for having us on. You're a stand-up dude, and can't wait to catch you on the water.
Yep.
All right,
Let's go
guys.
boating.
We'll check you later.